Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the two teams for this final match in the Under-19 Women's Division.
Colombia, número 1, Luisa Pineda. Número 2, Sofía Zapata. Número 3, María del Mar Rubio Espinal. Número 4, María José Vázquez. Número 5, Valentina Rodríguez Vázquez. Número 7, Mariana Jiménez Lotero. Número 8, Michelle Marie Bedoya. Número 9, Michelle Montoya Gil. Número 10, Mariana Beltrán Londoño. Número 11, Valentina Gómez Quintero. Número 12, Laura Rodríguez Mazo. Número 13, María Galdis. El coach Freddy Miranda y la manager Erika.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to stand for the national anthem of Colombia? And now the team for New Zealand. Number 2, Maya Cameron. Number 3, Caitlin Smith. Number 4, Naomi Anderson. Number 5, Rebecca Dean. Number 6, Emma Nord. Number 7, Vice Captain, Arya Hokachai. Number 8, Terry Warner. Number 9, Rowan Buick. Number 10, Isabella Burdon. Number 11, Montana Wilson. Number 12, Samantha Lee. And the captain, number 13, Greta Clark. Their coaching staff, Kristen Reynard, Amy Olekerker, and Gus Van Rattigan. Please now stand for the national anthem of New Zealand. Now the officials for this match. Water referee, Kian Ozmir from Turkey. Rudolf Pretorius of South Africa. And Sebastian Lepage of France. Chief referee for this match, Michael de Villiers of South Africa. His assistant, Jack van Beek, also South Africa. Timekeeper, Matt Nunn, and scorer, Bruno Calvini. Best of luck to both teams in the match. Thank you.
and good afternoon, and welcome to this finals match here at Ponds Forge Leisure Centre between New Zealand in black and Colombia in white, and already game is underway, just started. New Zealand here with chance on Colombia's goal. And Colombia get a breather from the furious attack there by the New Zealanders. It's a free puck to Colombia. And Colombia swim this one straight through the middle of the pool. The refs have called again an infringement for breaking there. So New Zealand, the infringement against them. Colombia now with the opportunity to get into the New Zealand half. Puck reset just on the edge of Colombia's end. New Zealand fast to sweep this one back, passing it back, but the play stopped once more. This time stick infringement's called against Colombia, so New Zealand now go back onto the attack. Pucks reset. New Zealand taking this one deep into Colombia's half. A long flick, but once again we have the play stopped. It's a stick infringement against Colombia once more. So now the puck reset. Closer to Colombia's 10. Big long flick there by New Zealand, trying to sweep it underneath themselves. The puck goes into the middle of the pool. Colombia now trying to sweep this one out. We have an infringement called, breaking by Colombia. So they went a little bit too early in the free puck there. New Zealand with another opportunity. Huge flick into the middle of the pool, but once more we have another stoppage. Illegal stopping this time. Puck hit New Zealand player's wrist. Needs to only come in contact with the stick. Therefore, Colombia now get a chance to get out from defence. So, big swim by Colombia. Now carrying on, good piece of play here by Colombia. Flicks that one out wide. But New Zealand managed to get bodies down the bottom. Big flick there. And now it's a scramble for Colombia. 3 players trying to ensure good turn by Colombia. Great piece of play. So
hello.
Colombia with the free puck once more. Long flick intercepted by New Zealand, but Colombia get it back onto the stick. It's a big sweeping piece of play here. Got a very stop-start match this.
Muy bien.
So now you'll have commentary. That one.
So if you've just joined us, it's 0-0 between New Zealand and Colombia, with 9 minutes 20 remaining of the first half. It's 0-0. Stick infringement called here against New Zealand. So, play's restarted. And it's stopped once again shortly afterwards. So stick infringement now against the Colombians. I think a warning's been given as well in addition. New Zealand currently locked here with Colombia 0-0. So we get halfway into this first half of the under-19 women's final. Evenly matched, these two teams, New Zealand and Colombia, showing great amounts of skill between them. But now it's Colombia with the opportunity to once again go on the attack. Great support here from the crowds, spectators here at Ponds Forge. Both Colombians and New Zealand out in numbers, support their teams. Colombia with 3 on the bottom. Puck skids along the bottom of the pool on the left hand side here. Good chance for a charge, but New Zealand wrestle this one back out. Again, good interception by Colombia, swing it into space. Now they're trying to swim it across the right hand side, turn, get it back into the middle of the pool. New Zealand with the body on the bottom to make sure that they can intercept it. Colombian charge halted, but only momentarily as they've got the free puck once more. Now the puck is set closer into New Zealand's half, and I think the timeout has now been called. So Colombia calling for the timeout here. Just under 7 minutes of this first half remaining. It's locked 0-0 between the two teams. Really close encounter between these two. We've had good spells of play. I'd say New Zealand have had the better chances early on. New Zealand got extremely close to scoring. Colombia have had a sustained spell, most recently buried in the New Zealand half. We're now about to reset the play here. Colombia with the free puck, centre of the pool. Great opportunity this to go ahead. They go down in numbers. It's a chip into the middle of the pool. They're trying to swim this one in by force, but New Zealand are stronger. Charge it out into the middle, but the play stopped. Gloving is called against New Zealand. Bit too much force there. So now it's Colombia with yet another opportunity to score. They're setting the puck a little bit closer to the tin this time. The bodies descend. Colombia flick this one long this time. They're trying to get it along the right hand side. Once again the play is stopped. Illegal stopping against New Zealand means a third attempt by Colombia to try and convert this. We've had one short flick, one long flick. Are they just going to go for a swim this time? It's a short flick into the middle. They're trying to get this one in via the left-hand corner. Furiously, the puck is slid back out. The referees stopped the play. They're looking for they're calling for gloving against New Zealand. Once again, a free puck is reset. Fourth attempt now for Colombia. They charge this one in. It's sat in the middle of the pool. New Zealand defence have been strong so far. Again, a big charge out by New Zealand. Play stopped once more. Illegal stopping by New Zealand. So, it's still not a penalty though. It's a free puck again. This war of attrition seems to be deadlocked. Can Colombia find the answer? Big chip into the middle. Big squabble going on in the middle of the pool. All the bodies are down. They're trying to wrestle this one in, but it's being swung back out into the middle. New Zealand spot it. They've got 3 people trying to get this one out to safety. New Zealand clear their lines. Now Colombia having to swim backwards to ensure New Zealand don't get possession, but finally they do. They've chipped it back. Now they're going on a charge diagonally down the pool by New Zealand. The play has been stopped. Obstruction called. And we have a New Zealand player out in the sin bin. So New Zealand number 3 is now out. And Colombia is into the New Zealand half. And we're in the middle of the pool. New Zealand down to 5. Caitlin Smith is out for 1 minute now. Good retaliation by New Zealand. Big long pass. Colombia reading this one. Now they've got to try and stop the New Zealand charge, so they're going to swim this one out to the left. These teams locked here, trying to get the first goal scored. We have New Zealand with a free puck now, and soon they'll be back up to full strength once more. New Zealand down quickly. Go for charges through the middle and sweeping in diagonally if needs be. They're swimming this one out hard. They're now going to turn, trying to plough through towards the 10, but Colombia get the bodies into the corner, and we've now got a Colombian player out in the sin bin. So it's switched around. Colombia with 5 now against a full complement of 6 from New Zealand. New Zealand turning, trying to get this one back into the middle, waiting for a connecting pass. The player stays down. Colombia wrestle it back into the middle, chase it, but it doesn't get too far. New Zealand send this one back once more. Good turn by New Zealand. Colombia now New Zealand with a great opportunity. A big flick here into the corner. Colombia scramble it out. The referees, we're looking for the referee's call here. Penalty is called against Colombia. 2 minutes left of this first half. New Zealand with the opportunity to get into the lead in this match. Infringement was called, so New Zealand with the penalty. They go down. One player's going to try and receive this pass. It's skidded close to the 10. It's driven out by Colombia. But the referees call the penalty goal for New Zealand. Colombians judged to have gloved that one out of the tin. So New Zealand now in the lead in this match. 1-0 with 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Colombian crowd making sure that the Colombian team G'd up to go on a counter-attack. Plays locked down this wall. Good swim here by Colombia. Maintaining possession, continuing to drive. There's 3 of them trying to take on New Zealand, but they're too good on the stick. They're down in numbers 2. It's a Colombian free puck. The clock continues to tick down towards half-time here. Only a minute and a half of the first half remains. So, Colombia with a good swim down the middle, good wrestle, but New Zealand onto it. Again, wrestled back by Colombia. Trying to swim this one round. New Zealand get it, but now Colombia trying to chase the New Zealand attack. Long flick, but New Zealand easily receive it. Now Colombia trying to stop New Zealand from getting a second. Late into this first half, New Zealand punch it through. It's a great opportunity here. Colombia going down in numbers. Swimming it out to the wall. Every time that New Zealand goes on the attack, Colombia get the numbers down to clear their lines. Now Colombia on a big swim, but it's pretty much reset back into the middle of the pool here. Not quite enough time here for the first half to finish, so we've got New Zealand this time with their timeout to regroup. There's only 26 seconds of the first half left. I think New Zealand figured they might as well call for their timeout. They're allowed one, so give the team a bit of breathing space. Make sure Colombia don't charge in and equalise. Now Colombia need to make sure that New Zealand don't get a second. It's their free puck. Big charge by New Zealand. They're going to swim this one out to the side. Play stopped once again. It's illegal stopping against Colombia. So the clock is going to tick down to half time. And that's going to be the end of the first half. So first half comes to an end. Even though the free puck was taken, it's 1-0 to New Zealand here in this close contest between the two. Just going to check to see, because it's the under-19 women's division, so if memory serves, both teams have played each other at least twice. So going to see what the previous form says against the teams. So I need to call my stats up to me here on poolside. Check some fantastic facilities we have to support us here in the commentary team. There is a great website for this entire championships that has been a fantastic resource for anybody wanting to find out who the teams are, who the players are, what matches have been played, what the scores are. I thoroughly recommend, if you get the opportunity to take a look, go to it. It's really well put together website. The scores I can see between the two teams in this under-19 women's, last few times early on in the tournament, this is admittedly New Zealand came off the better between the two by some margin, it has to be said. It looks like it was in fact a triple round robin, and on each encounter New Zealand have won their matches. This, however, is a much closer encounter. Really edgy match between the two. Colombia are determined to make sure New Zealand can't get the opportunity to swim, because they know how dangerous they are. New Zealand have managed to weather 4 or 5 free pucks near their tin in this first half. Nervous times for the New Zealanders sitting in the stands, but defend they did, and Colombia still have it all to do here. Just the one goal in it. So this second half, I think we're going to see another furious battle between these two teams. Colombia probably wanting to get out faster, out the blocks, go on a charge if they can, get this equaliser, get themselves back into this game. So play gets underway in this second half. It's going to be New Zealand who get to the puck first, but only just. It skids out to the left-hand side. Colombia passing it back to chip it forwards. Lots of New Zealand bodies on the bottom. Now New Zealand get an opportunity to charge. They're off into the middle of the pool. Colombia instantly slide the puck off the New Zealand stick. Although a stick infringement has been called against Colombia. So New Zealand now with a free puck into the Colombian half. Just what they want at the start of this second half to find themselves. Forcing the Colombians to defend. Long flick by New Zealand. Chased out by Colombia. They're trying to get this one out, but it's gone back into the middle again. It's 1-on-1. The play has been stopped by the referees, though. So, a stick infringement called. I think we've got a player going out to the sin bin. New Zealand down to 5. Colombia with the free puck. So Caitlin Smith out on the side. I think she was out in the sin bin on in the first half as well. Colombia, long flick into the middle, trying to get this one into open space. Now going for a big charging run down the middle. New Zealand trying to get it back down the middle, but had to be forced out to the wing. Gloving is called against New Zealand. The tension mounts here as Colombia again start to pressurise New Zealand in their half. New Zealand, of course, only got 5. It's a short chip this time. Colombia driving, continuing to drive. They can't quite get it towards the tin, mind you. New Zealand looking to sweep this one out, but the referees are calling another infringement against New Zealand. This is starting to feel a little bit reminiscent of the first half as Colombia get more attempts to try and get the scores even. Colombia trying to swim this one. This time they turned it, but New Zealand charge it out. Back to Colombia once more. This is an opportunity. Swims in underneath herself, but she can't quite pass it to the Colombian player. They're still desperately trying to get this one along the back wall, but New Zealand stop that attack. The referees just checking to see what the referee's call is here. It's against New Zealand once more. New Zealand do get themselves back up to 6, but again, more infringements near the New Zealand tin. They can't quite clear their lines without causing an infringement. Colombia, yet more opportunities. This time it's closer to the middle. New Zealand again with the bodies on the bottom. They're going to wrestle this one out to the side. Somehow Colombia can't quite seem to break the New Zealand defence. We've got referees signalling for a number. I think there's a player potentially being asked to be sat in the sin bin. So now New Zealand, and again I think it's their number 3. If I was able to read the hand signals right, we'll get the confirmation. It is Caitlin Smith back on the side again. Colombia chip this one into the middle of the pool, and there's a big scramble here. Colombia have got it in the tin. The referees checking. They've called it. It's an equaliser for Colombia. It had to come eventually. Colombia had attempt after attempt there. New Zealand cleared their line so many times, but they were down to 5 and Colombia finally got the breakthrough. So, are we seeing another New Zealand player out in the sin bin? We are. So Sofia Zapata from Colombia gets the equaliser. New Zealand now down to 4, and I think a timeout, not too surprisingly, being called by New Zealand. Nervous moments here for them. First thing one of the coaches is doing is going over to the sin bin to talk to the two New Zealand girls on the side before coming back here. So, as you can see from our poolside camera, there's going to be a chance now for New Zealand to try get their heads straight here with just the 4 of them. It's only 25 seconds that they'll have 4 in the water, but it'll be a full minute before they're back up to their 6. So if Colombia wants to seize this opportunity, they really need to get to the free puck or make sure all the bodies are on the bottom. They charge down. New Zealand are going to get to this one first. They're probably going to try and flick it wide, but Colombia trying to ensure it goes back in the middle. They're trying to punch this one through. It doesn't succeed. New Zealand now getting themselves into a nice safe position. They're going to get another substitution. Caitlin Smith's going to be back in the water now. So initial danger has passed for them. They're up to 5 and they have the free puck. Great support for both teams as the free puck for New Zealand is taken, and they're going to be back up to 6 here very shortly, so we might see a body enter the water and porpoise straight into play. She's gone down the back, but now New Zealand with a fantastic chance. They've got players over. Colombia trying to sweep it out to the side. They manage it. They then go on a charge themselves, but infringement has been called. The referees take an opportunity to have a quick conversation. So I think they were saying that advantage was called. Advantage was being played as Colombia cleared their lines. They needed to stop the play to give New Zealand the free puck once again. Colombia now have to switch back into defensive mode. New Zealand try and chip it, but it hits the Colombian stick first. It's going to have to go the long way round. New Zealand trying to swim this one into the middle, force it underneath themselves. There's 3 New Zealand players. Big long flick here by New Zealand. Chipped out this time. So Colombia clear it out to the corner. But long flick bounced several times on the bottom for Colombia to try and sweep it out to safety. Now New Zealand charging down the back wall. It's a long flick but punched out by Colombia. That was a well-timed interception, kicked hard from the tin by Colombia to ensure. And now Colombia once again trying to find options now. Hold on to the puck. New Zealand trying to chase this one down. Well held by Colombia, but New Zealand get it back onto the stick. 2 players going on a big charge here. Colombia seems short of numbers near the tin. New Zealand are going to swim this one hard. I think it's gone in. It has. Great charge there by New Zealand to put themselves back into the lead. So Rowan Buick with the goal for New Zealand. They're now 2-1 back in front as we get to halfway through this second half. It looked locked, but New Zealand charged forwards in numbers. Colombia seemingly couldn't quite get themselves scrambled back into the goal in time, and New Zealand put themselves back into the lead in this incredibly close match between these 2 teams. It's clear to see both of these teams really want to win this. New Zealand with 3 teams competing in the finals. and they already have a bronze medal to their names. But Colombia going on a big charge here. Where are the New Zealand players? They're coming down. Colombia needs some backup, desperately trying to hold on to the puck, but the backup didn't come fast enough. So New Zealand get this one out to the side. Colombia get it back onto their stick again, going on a charge. Again, New Zealand getting it to the wall, trying to find a safe position. Colombia battling hard to try to make sure that now they're in the New Zealand half, and I think that's going to be an infringement. Gloving is called against New Zealand. Now there's some furious bludgeoning going on down the wall there by the Colombian attacker, but New Zealand get the infringement. So all credit to her for managing to keep the puck on her stick while she was doing it. Colombia swing this one round, met with furious resistance by New Zealand. It seems that every time New Zealand want to get this clear, Colombia do get the player down to try and intercept it. Trying to back tackle, but it only goes as far as New Zealand, who put a big flick into the middle. Now New Zealand trying to swing this one round. Colombia get the numbers down at the bottom once again. And it keeps turning, twisting and turning this game backwards and forwards between the two. Colombia looking to go on a charge. Now they've got two players down. Can they sweep this one in on the right hand side? Got a good connecting pass. It's hit the New Zealand player's fin. That definitely, to me, look like it's going forward still. Is the referee going to call for illegal stopping? He does. He does. I think he might have been trying to play the advantage there. So the puck hit the New Zealand player's fin, meaning Colombia now with another opportunity to equalise here. 5 minutes remain in this second half. Colombia, long flick into the middle. They've got the player out to the side. They've got him out to the side, and it's going into the tin. It is a goal. Colombia have equalised. Great piece of play by Colombia off that free puck. Looked like it was going off to the left-hand side, but the player, Valencia Gomez Quintero, she punched it back in to make sure New Zealand couldn't get it out in time. This match is hotting up. It's 2-2 with 4 minutes remaining. Big flick there, that bounced off of the Colombian player's mask, I think, as it was charged in. Colombia now trying to go forward in numbers. The referees have called an infringement. It's against the Colombia. It's illegal stopping by the Colombians. So New Zealand now want the pendulum to swing back into their favour. It's a long flick. New Zealand have got this one still on their stick. They're still going forwards. Colombia sweep it out, but New Zealand ready to recycle it, try and get it in through the middle. It skids along the bottom, and there's a big wrestle going on here. Colombia chip it out, but New Zealand have put it back into the tin, I believe. The goal is called. New Zealand regain their advantage. It's a big scrap there for Colombia to get back equal. It was probably lasted about a minute, and then New Zealand went on the charge, and again it sat in the middle of the pool. Great piece of recycling by New Zealand, getting the bodies down the bottom, stretching the Colombian defence. So Montana Wilson now with this third goal for New Zealand, and it's 2 minutes 45 left till the end of this women's under-19s gold medal match. Big charge here by Colombia now. They're desperate to get this one back on equal terms. Bruising encounter between the two. Long flicks. Colombia managed to find the gap between three New Zealand players there. New Zealand managed their defence, their last person defence, somehow manages to stop three Colombians in return. So that reset the balance between the two. Now Colombia trying to charge once more. They're picking it forward. New Zealand trying to slowly get this one out to the sides. Get it underneath the New Zealand subs bin so they can get some fresh legs. Colombia still with the puck on their stick. We've got an infringement called. It is against New Zealand. Once more, we have a New Zealand player sat out on the side. Is it their number 3 once more? We don't know. But there is a timeout called by Colombia just as they were about to take the free puck. Waiting to see if I can read the number on the hat of the New Zealand player. Well, Colombia, you can see, sat where the free puck's going to be taken, trying to discuss the tactics here. They've managed to get a free puck into the New Zealand 10, so looks like he's trying to indicate he wants this one to be charged in. It's Isabella Burden from New Zealand with a minute on the side. So New Zealand need to get this one clear, otherwise Colombia will equalise. So long flick by Colombia. New Zealand power this one out. Great turn by Colombia, trying to ping it back into the middle, but now New Zealand get the opportunity to charge, being chased on either side by Colombia. It's being swung round, trying to work out which way to go. New Zealand think they found it. Yes, they have. They've got it out to the side now. Long flick by New Zealand, and now they're going for a charge. Great play here by both teams. The referees now call for New Zealand to have the advantage for their free puck. So even with 5 players, New Zealand now trying to put this match out of reach for Colombia. It's just inside the Colombian half with 1 minute 20 remaining in this match. All New Zealand will want to do is to somehow keep it in the Colombian half if they can. Swinging the puck backwards and forwards. The referees have called it against New Zealand. It was a stick infringement. Shortly, we're going to have New Zealand back up to their full complement. 1 minute 10 remains for Colombia to get this back even. So long flick by Colombia. New Zealand trying to anticipate it. Colombia still bodies down the bottom, trying to charge this one forwards. It's still on the Colombian stick. Pass back. Great interception there. Another fantastic intercepting pass. Colombia now on a charge. They're trying to get this one deep into the New Zealand end. It's flicked forward again. New Zealand scrambling to get this one to safety. Colombia still with the puck on their stick, and they're turning once again. They're going to try and go through. They've turned it. New Zealand trying to get this one out to safety, but Colombia wrestling once more. The referees stop the play. Stick infringement. Colombia get the free puck. New Zealand once again down to 5 players. So this is going to be probably the best opportunity Colombia get to get this back evens. It's charged in. Big long flick, wrestled out by New Zealand. Swam it out, but guess what? It's a free puck. What's the call? Another New Zealand player now out in the bin. So New Zealand down to 4. Colombia now 6v4. And once again, Colombia swim it. It's a short flick and they can't hold on to it. They really need to get this one back. New Zealand just with the 4. Swim this one out to safety. They're going to hold this one on the wall. It's far enough away from the 10. Time's running out now. The crowd counting this one down. It's deadlocked on the wall. And New Zealand emphatic with their victory there. Even with 2 players in the sin bin, they managed to hold Colombia out. So New Zealand with the victory, but Colombia also, we can see, celebrating their result too. They're very happy to have a silver medal. New Zealand, the stronger of the two in that very closely fought and fascinating encounter, get the gold medal and win this match 3-2.